Well, I think we can all agree that wasn't the best performance ever, but we got a win. You know what they say, if you win while playing badly, it's the stuff of champions. I've got to say though, I I didn't enjoy that game very much at all. Quick shout out to the Twitch. I just did another watch along. I try to do a watch along for every Arsenal game. So if you want to watch me react to these games live with you guys, then please do follow me over on Twitch. Yeah, it was a bit stressful at times. Sometimes I have to hide the comments. I don't want to know if we've conceded. This was one of those moments towards the end of the game. Wasn't sure if we were going to concede or not, but thankfully we got the win. Now, this video is brought to you by FOTMob. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video. If you need a football app to give you every bit of information you need right at your fingertips, in your pocket, whatever, then please do check out FOTMob. It's a free app. You can get it on Android, iOS, and my screen just turned off. Don't do that. We've got some of the stats in the game here. We dominated possession, but just look at the shots. Very disappointing. 14 shots to our 7. West Ham did not deserve to come away from this game with no points. So I do feel a little bit for them. Just looking at the shot stats here. Yeah, it was very underwhelming. Not a good performance. You can see that they've given Danny Ceballos man of the match. The best West Ham player was Ceballos and Nketiah. Is it Mikhail? I think it is. Anyway, thank you to FOTMob for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and talk about the game because, as I said, I don't actually think we deserved to come away with the points. I think West Ham probably edged it. I've also given my man of the match to Ceballos. I didn't actually know that FOTMob did that, so we've both agreed there. I think statistically and performance-based, he was our best player today. Got the assist for Ceballos and Nketiah's goal. And can I just say, you know, if you were on social media before the Fulham game last weekend, you would have seen that in the pre-match warm-up, Ceballos and Nketiah and Danny Ceballos had a little bit of a coming together. They seemed to push each other a little bit, share some expletive words with each other, and it didn't look good. After the game, they posted on social media saying it's all good, no problems. And today, they are literally hugging after scoring the winner. So that's always good to see. I really didn't like seeing that. You know, that is not something you want to see your players doing before a game, especially the first game of the season. Ceballos has just come back in on loan. You've got one of your best young players involved as well. It wasn't great, but it also has a positive. You know, a lot of people weren't mentioning this, but passion. They were so ready to go for this match. Their stress levels, anxiety levels, up through the roof probably, and they both just so badly want to do well, and maybe there was just a disagreement. I don't know what happened there, but it was good to see them both involved in that goal. Let's talk about the first goal, which was Lacazette's. Lacazette was okay today. I feel like with the goal, which was onside, a lot of people thought maybe it was offside in the build-up with Aubameyang, but no, it wasn't. Lacazette had a bit of an odd game today because he looked good in the Fulham game and today's game in terms of being in front of goal. He looked dangerous, but off the ball, I still find it very difficult to praise Lacazette other than when he's trying to hold up the play. He's really good at getting the ball into his feet and holding it up, finding a teammate. But what he really struggles with, I think, is the creative side. When he gets his head up and looks for a pass, plenty of times today where he's got a cross in that hasn't even gone past the first man, a pass that's just gone wild. Really disappointing because I think had we had a Pepe, a Willian, an Aouar in those positions, getting those passes into Aubameyang, I mean, we would have scored more. There's no doubt about it. And at the other end, Tierney was meant to start today. You can see Kolasinac, new shiny graphics, by the way. Kolasinac had to come in for Tierney, who picked up a little bit of a problem with his hip, I believe, in the warm-up. That was a problem as well because the goal that they scored literally would have been where Tierney was, and I feel like Tierney probably would have stopped that cross coming in for the Antonio goal. Big fan of Antonio, by the way. I like him, so good on him. I've actually got him in my fantasy league team, which, by the way, if you want to take part in my FPL, all you got to do is get in my Discord. So subscribe on Twitch, you get in my Discord, and you're in the FPL. I'm sure Antonio is going to get me a few points this season. Not that I really care. But yeah, that's I think maybe 2 important points. We made a change defensively, which definitely didn't help. I think Kolasinac is long gone. I don't see him playing for Arsenal at all this season, really, from now. I've got a feeling he will be moved along. we missed Tierney. We really did. And then up the other end, where you want Lacazette in the box, he was often outside the box. And he was the one trying to find the pass into Aubameyang, Willian, and it was just the wrong way round. So I think that's part of the problem today. The system didn't seem to work as well as it has done. I mean, don't forget, we've been playing with this 3-4-3 for a little while now, beating teams like Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, doing really well with it. But to be fair, when we have used it, we haven't really come up against other teams utilising the same formation, a 3-4-3, which is exactly what West Ham were playing today. And I remember very specifically, I think it was it Conte at Chelsea? He was the first manager in recent times, in the last 5 years or so, to really start to use this 3 at the back formation, which is very Italian, by the way. I remember he was doing so well with Chelsea. It was actually after we beat them at the Emirates. He went to 3 at the back and they went on a really good run. It felt like at that point they were almost unstoppable until other teams clocked on and played the same system. And it felt like it was just a clash. It didn't work today. That's why we were awful. The system didn't seem to suit the game against West Ham. I don't know if it was that or if it was something else, but that's certainly what I felt like. It didn't feel like we had the same kind of control as we normally have had with this 3-4-3. So part of me thinks that when Tierney picked up that injury pre-game, I would have liked to see us go to a 4 at the back, but it's very possible, and it's probably the reason. During the week, we've built up to this game using 3-4-3 tactics in mind. You know, the system that we've worked on would have been for this game. But apparently, according to Willian, he did an interview with Sky, and they said that he was very honest about tactics and how it's like working with Arteta. And apparently, Arteta likes to have a plan B and a plan C, which isn't very Arsenal under all those years with Wenger. 4-2-3-1, done. There's no plan B. If we lose, we lose. With Arteta, it seems like we do have options, but we didn't use those options today. So maybe he was very confident we would eventually get the win, which of course we did. So if we went to 4 at the back, you know, Tierney comes out, maybe Kolasinac goes left back instead, or Ainsley Maitland-Niles, which is what I would have done personally, then maybe this would have been a different game. But ultimately, it's 2 games and it's 2 wins. That is all that matters. Also, I don't normally talk about other games, but to be fair, not much happened today. I want to talk about the Manchester United game against Crystal Palace, because there was a moment in this game between Arsenal and West Ham. There was a definite handball. Well, I say it was a handball. The ball hit Gabriel's arm, who, by the way, had not as good of a game as he did against Fulham, but he was still solid today. He made a few mistakes. This was one of them. He tried to get his body in the way, and the ball has landed kind of here. Now, in my opinion, that should never be a penalty. It's part of his body. Like, you can't avoid hitting the ball with this area. If you do that, it's still going to hit you, you know? So it's very difficult. It also happened, kind of, in the Manchester United game today, and they were very unlucky that VAR awarded a penalty, and then they actually saved it, and then it got retaken, which is even more crazy. I mean, De Gea was this far off his line. Ridiculous, really. But what I'm talking about here is the inconsistency. I'm not a fan of VAR in terms of the way we use it. I like when it is used and when it gets things right, like our first goal. We would have had that goal ruled out. Thankfully, VAR gave it. Actually, was it that way round? I can't remember if I have to watch the game on mute when I'm streaming, so I couldn't hear what was going on. But as far as I could tell, it looked like Lacazette was pretty down because it was ruled off. But either way, VAR kind of saved us. Whereas against Manchester United, it ruined it for them. They were 2 quite similar judgment calls, you know, where the ball has hit the player very quickly. You know, there's no real chance for the player to avoid it. Yet we've had 2 different results. And I'm not too sure I like that. So I do have to give Manchester United fans a little bit of my thoughts here, because that was atrocious, although they weren't good today. So you got to give it to Crystal Palace. They deserve to win. But I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like VAR is never going to be popular if we're just not consistent with its use. Fantastic, it works, right? And it gives justice, whatever. But the way we use it has to be consistent. And that was a point I wanted to make today. Elsewhere, Everton doing really well against West Brom. I thought West Brom were really good, though, up until the sending off. I was going to make a joke about Oxlade getting sent off, if you know what I mean. But also, Leeds, congrats on their first win today. That was a good win. Who else am I missing? I've watched so many football games today. Dortmund got a win. I think I don't need to mention anything else. I'm just going to quickly go through the team here because there are a few other mentions I should say. So one thing I've always thought about centre-backs, if you're not talking about them, it means they've done a good job. It means they've done their job. Holding was really good today, didn't put a foot wrong. Gabriel, I said already, kind of a bit of a mixed bag today. Kolasinac wasn't awful. I don't think it was his fault that we conceded, but I think we would have been okay if Tierney was there. Just my thoughts. Saka had an off game, wasn't particularly great until we scored that final goal where he put Ceballos through. I thought Bellerin was decent today. He did his job very well. He's actually made a good start this season. Ceballos and Xhaka, that partnership is still going to be good for us this season. And if we don't bring in an Aouar or a Partey, I think we still will be okay. But I think we do still need to improve there. Ceballos got my man of the match, though. Willian wasn't great today. He came off and you could tell he knew he didn't have a very good game, but that's okay. He's still new to this system. It's fine. Aubameyang had a quiet game. Didn't get his usual goal, but he did get an assist and was a big part of the reason we still managed to win today. He still had moments, and Lacazette, of course, got his goal. Probably could have done a lot better with his distribution, his creativeness. In general, I want to give Arsenal maybe a 5, but because we won the game and scored that last-minute goal, I'm going to bump it up to a 6 out of 10. It wasn't a good performance, but as I said, sometimes you've got to win games while playing badly, and maybe that's a sign that maybe this year we will finally get back into the top 4. But thank you so much for watching Operation Arsenal. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you drop a like. Plenty more FIFA 21 content coming your way, and of course, the next Arsenal game is on Wednesday, I believe. So if you want to catch me live for that one, check out my Twitch, or you can wait for my review on YouTube. So I guess that's it. 2 wins, great start.